I really would like to help people that doesn't have anything, you know, help them to find somewhere to live. Get them off the drugs, because it's the drugs that's stopping them from moving forward in life. Think of what you can have when you stop taking drugs. You can buy nice things. You can have a nice home, you know. And look, I've stopped taking heroin, and you know, and look where we've got now. I was from a few months ago. I was living in a tent. Well, this is where I was for about nearly a year. This is where I stayed. This is where I lived. This was my home. That's where I had my tent. Over there behind those bushes. Here was my tent. Through the summer, through the winter. And it was my home for about nearly a year. But now I'm in a house. Do you remember the Barnet woman? Just tell the truth. Lindsay Wagner? Just like you. Yeah, you'll see her in a minute.
Not done a winter in a tent, whereas my mate there has, and I used to go round for him in the mornings, and some of them mornings were so cold I could see his jeans had frosted together, you know.
I just come out of a relationship. 14 years is a long time. You don't get over that over a few months. It takes. I'm still healing from it, actually. Just. I'm glad I'm not here, actually. I'm glad I'm in somewhere nice. Clean. Just going to finish off these dishes. God, how much coffee do you put in here?
Me and this man have had our fallouts, but I know he's always going to be there for me. And, you know, if you've got one friend like that in your life, just one, that's all you need, believe you me.
But Hope and Traction, I couldn't do it without them and the church. Hope and Traction in church, those two, because they work together, helping people like me, absolutely fantastic. And if I can do it, anybody can do it, you know?
Hope into Action houses ex-offenders, homeless and disadvantaged people, vulnerable adults, both male and female. What we do is go into the prison, we get assessments done, we get referrals from different agencies in the city, and if they're right for the house that we have at the time, we then put them in the house with another tenant and engage with them on a weekly basis.
I remember when my dad disappeared, I remember just getting on my hands and knees. And back then I didn't know anything about God, but I remember praying before I got into bed, God, please. I'll tell you exactly what I used to say. I said, thank God for the birds and the bees. Now this is serious. Thank God for the birds and the bees. Please, I want to go and live with my dad. I know I'm going to look daft, but I'm putting a scarf on because it's bloody cold. I grew up in Peterborough. My life started off at Russell Street. It was a bit like something out of Oliver Twist. Because we never used to get fed. I mean, a child can't stay alive on a half-cooked potato and locked in your room for 3 days upon an end. It's not normal. You can't do that to you can't do that to a child. My dad he was never there. 1 minute he'd be there, next minute he'd be gone. We'd wake up, oh, don't you effing talk about your father, you know, and all this. And I often used to think, because I was a daddy's boy, I should take his jacket to bed with me. Where's dad gone? Where's dad gone? And, oh, she was awful. And because she was our stepmother, she had her own children. And me and Kenny and Tina and Maria, I don't like to use the word hate, but she hated us. Especially me, she had it in for me. And she was always beating me and sending me to bed with no food. And we had to steal food. We had to sneak down in the middle of the night, take it in turns. Right? We all, you know, there's 10 of us in one room in one rotten mattress with one blanket, and we had to steal food and and run over the road and nick a light bulb out of some old man's toilet, because back then you had the toilet outside connected onto the house. And we lived here. There's the alleyway. down the bottom, on the left, I used to nick the guy's bloke's ball out his toilet. Sneak back in the house, go all the way to the very top, to that room, put the bulb in. We get all the bottles of water out, just all came out of the chimney. Now you've got to remember now, there's about 13 of us, all little toddlers. Now we was very young. I used to do all the cooking. You know, you had old Victorian doors, they had panels in the doors, and we used to take the panels out, sneak through, because there was a rope tied around the handle, tied to the banister so you couldn't get out, you know. And we should creep downstairs, past the front room, you know, to the pantry, and take a bit of this and a bit of that. Take it back, hide it up the chimney, bottles of water, we had a saucepan. We'd get the saucepan, we'd put carrots, all bits of food, everything went into it. But we used to be starved for days, mate. We should be locked in that room. I swear, as the Lord is my witness. And we should have what you call stews. Everything went into it. I mean, everything. We never went to school. I mean, we couldn't. We were stinking. We had rags hanging off us. Our life, it skips from one story to next. Cause next minute, our dad would reappear, and the social service would find out. The next minute, we'd be taken away, and then he didn't want to split me and my brother Kenny up because we was close. We're putting into a children's home. It just went terribly wrong for me, it really did. And I was going up burglary, I was stealing this and that, and that was awful. It was awful, having to work really hard to get heroin and, you know. Drugs for me was, I don't know about anybody else, but for me it made me feel good. It made me feel, because I can't remember when I was a childhood, I can't remember, I've never been happy. I know that sounds terrible. I can't remember ever being happy. I really can't, as the Lord is my witness, you know, and I think for me drugs, it did something to me that made me feel better, that made me feel, oh, it wasn't for long, for a few hours, and that's what I wanted, because I felt good. I felt good with myself, you know. Nobody could touch me. That's how it made me feel. How old was I? Oh my goodness, how old was I? Baby Anna died, so I was 23, I think. Baby Anna, the first woman I ever did fall in love with. And this guy was infatuated with her. She got murdered and everything went wrong. If you love someone, if you've been in love with someone and you lose them and they're not there, the world seems very, very different. Everything's black and white, nothing. And I think I slipped into something then, and I moved out onto the street. I couldn't handle it anymore, I couldn't live there. I left everything in the flat. I said to some of my friends, whatever you want, there's the keys, go and take it. I took a bag and I ended up on the street, and from there I sort of shut myself away, and it was awful. I used to walk all the way down the River Knee, right the way down the very bottom. It was a horse's field with a horse in it, and there was a dip in the field, and I used to get in there and cover myself over with plastic. And but I didn't know the homeless shelter existed until my sister told me. I didn't know about anything like that until my sister told me I went to see my sister to get a shower and cleaned it. And she goes, well, I found it somewhere, you know. I remember this place. This used to be the Haven. This is where I met Kim. Just over 14 years ago. And I remember that day that I left. She gave me a phone number. She said, when you find somewhere to live, give me a ring. Found somewhere that day, phoned her up, and it started from there. 14 years later, and you know, and I ended up splitting up from her, and I moved onto the street. And I got into heroin, back into heroin, and it got to the stage where I needed to get my act together. But it's such a stress on the brain having to wake up. What am I going to do today? How am I going to get the money together? You know, it's awful. It's any opportunity that come along for you to get drugs or money or anything, you grab hold of it with both hands. You know. It's when I got to a proper man's jail was Stafford. I went to Stafford. It's just outside Birmingham. For me, that opened my eyes up. You know, I didn't want to end up in a bed sick, growing old, dying, nobody missing me, no loved ones around me. I wanted a family of my own. I wanted to be someone. I wanted to do something good.
It's a Christian-based charity, and but like I said, we take referrals from all faiths. It's working really well. We've got 5 houses at the moment, at least, and another investment for another 5 coming online. So
That's good. That's good.
and we've had at least 3 people that have moved on that we've helped.
I will say I'm a very privileged man to have, to have met a friend like this and to have the Lord in my life as well. They're 2 things that are the most 2 important things to me.
And it's also about the bigger community, really, because with the church you get volunteers that come in and help, sit down with you, be a friend. They're not being paid to be nice to you, They're there to develop a relationship, which is what it's about, making you part of the community.
Yeah.
I love it. I
You're
get
making a
a lot
difference.
of satisfaction. I get knowing that I'm making a difference in someone's life.
Well, I know you've made a difference in my life because you do all my paperwork, and if it wasn't for you, I'd come unstuck. Hi, Seth. How you doing, man?
Okay.
I just need you to give me a hand if you would do the do and the don't.
Right, let's fill this in, and then we'll fill the other forms in.
My sweet Lord. It's home to me, and I've always had crummy bed sits and been sleeping on what we call sofa surfing. I've been sleeping on somebody's floor. So to come into an house, it's legal, there's housing benefit, everything, and it just feels like you're coming home to home, and it's a massive difference, It makes you feel like you belong.
I've got some lovely blinds. Yeah, in that blanket. Nick's living in a tent any day. And there I was for a year and a half. And here I am now. Happy as a sandboy.